Hey guys, in this video I'll be reacting to two rappers confess to the same crime, but only one is guilty. Let's see what this video is about.
Two extremely famous rappers admit to committing the same horrible crime at the height of their popularity. Rick Ross's admission was in 2013, and Cardi B 6 years later in 2019. Rick Ross received an incredible amount of backlash. Tens of thousands of petitions signed and hundreds of people standing outside of the Reebok headquarters demanding them to terminate their endorsement deal with the rapper. Cardi B, on the other hand, received tons of support from her fans and the media, breaking down all of the nuances of her crime and why it was okay. Today we are going to take a look at both of these situations and examine exactly why Cardi B was perceived as a victim and Rick Ross was perceived as guilty in the court of public opinion. Starting with Rick Ross. In March of 2013, a rapper by the name of Rocco released a remix of his song UOENO alongside Future and Rick Ross. UOENO is not an acronym but rather a slurred slang term representing a phrase, "you don't even know it." At the 2 minute and 10-second mark in the song, Rick Ross says, "Put Molly all in her champagne. She ain't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed that. She ain't even know it." Listeners were shocked
That's crazy.
to hear Rick Ross directly confess to drugging a woman and then insinuating that they had sex after. It's hard to interpret this bar as anything other than a confession. At first, this was just a crazy lyric that made you and your buddies look at each other in disbelief, but the song was getting more and more popular, making the rounds on social media and in the clubs. As more people were exposed to the specificity and boastfulness of Rick Ross's delivery, they felt like they had to speak out. First, a petition calling for Rick Ross to, quote, publicly apologize for glorifying drugging/R-wording a woman was posted to change.org. The organizer wrote, "This should be investigated further and he should be prosecuted." With only 1,294 signatures, it didn't have a large enough impact. Then, Rosa Clemente, who was the 2008 vice presidential candidate of the Green Party, posted a YouTube video criticizing the rapper.
"This is disgusting, to say the least. This lyric is obviously promoting not just date, but and culture and violence against women. We live in a society that by the time African American women and Latina women are 18, almost half of them, 44%, have been sexually abused."
From there, more media personalities used their
Yeah, that's sad because a video had like 8.8 million views. So a lot of people listen to it. Young people be listening to it thinking it's okay and they can also do it. And no, that's not okay. That's not cool.
platform to encourage people to speak out against Ross.
Sex without consent
is what you should know.
sex without consent is that's what we know.
Rick Ross, it's a shame that you don't know.
The controversy spread like wildfire. Every major news outlet started to chime in. When Ross responded to the controversy, he did more harm than good. On the New Orleans radio station Q93.3 FM, he said, "I want to make sure this is clear. That woman is the most precious gift known to man. You understand? There was a misunderstanding with a lyric, a misinterpretation. The term wasn't used. I would never use the term in my records. As far as my camp, hip-hop don't condone that."
You didn't use it. You didn't use the word. But that's what it is, sir. That's what it is. You know what?
The
Whatever.
streets don't condone that. Nobody condones that. So I just wanted to reach out to all the queens that's on my timeline, all the sexy ladies, the beautiful ladies that had been reaching out to me with the misunderstanding. We don't condone, but I'm not with that. Ross claiming that this lyric was all a misunderstanding and then shouting out the sexy ladies just fueled even more outrage. Hip-hop outlets began speaking out against him.
Guys, Rick Ross has come to a crossroads. He is a great artist, good dude. He put me on his mixtape. I love the guy. But he's got to step up right now and do the right thing. And that right thing is a thorough and sincere apology about the lines that made people think he was endorsing date.
Ross's peers, such as Talib Kweli, began speaking out against him.
I don't care if Rick Ross is 40 years old. He's a misguided 40-year-old person. When we embraced him, we have to embrace him with love. Everything everyone's saying about that line is correct. Rick Ross condoned in that song, and he shouldn't, and he should apologize. And his apology that he offered was unacceptable.
So he apologized again. On April 4th, 2013, he tweeted, "I don't condone apologies for the hashtag lyric interpreted as hashtag boss." This was his second attempt at an apology, but still sticking to his belief that you, the listener, misconstrued his words.
Yeah, he's saying his lyrics that he put stuff in the woman's drink and then he take her home. And then on top of it, you saying that that is not the R word, like you didn't do that. Then what is it then? Like you gotta explain then, because you're trying to make it sound like everybody's crazy. I mean, the whole world cannot be crazy, right? Like, come on now, come on now.
And he didn't say anything wrong, whereas many argue that there is no other way to look at this lyric, like Adam Howard from The Griot, who said, "There's no way to argue that he's not describing rape." Most other hip-hop songs describing sexual contact, while still often misogynistic, at least leave room for a listener to believe that women are consenting parties. But in this case, listening to a man gleefully rhyme about drugging someone and having sex with her while she's unconscious feels like an alarmingly pointed threat. Critics were
Yeah.
tired of Rick Ross's inability to accept responsibility, especially the National Organization for Women in New York City, who rallied in hundreds outside of the Reebok headquarters in New York, asking them to disband their partnership with Rick Ross.
It is a hate crime to be out there making fun of, making light of drugging and raping women, something that happens all too often in our culture.
These are actually 72,000 petitions signed by our members all over the country, and there are also comments from people about why they feel like Reebok needs to drop Rick Ross.
Rick Ross is a disgrace to humanity. This guy's a joke. How do you say, I slipped her Molly, went home and enjoyed that, and she didn't even know?
Yeah.
And you say you didn't mean to condone rape. He knew
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
exactly what he's saying. The fact of the matter is he's just a coward, and now he's trying to avoid dealing with it.
Just a few days after the protest, Rick Ross was officially dropped from his multi-million-dollar endorsement deal. The company made a statement. While we do not believe that Rick Ross condones sexual assault, we are very disappointed he has yet to display an understanding of the seriousness of the issue or an appropriate level of remorse. They continued, "At this time, it is in everyone's best interest for Reebok to end its partnership with Mr. Ross." I guess Ross was hoping the outrage would eventually die out, because it was after Reebok dropped him that he finally made a formal apology. My choice of words was not only offensive, it does not reflect my true heart, and for this, I apologize. To every woman that has felt the sting of abuse, I apologize. I recognize that as an artist I have a voice, and with that, the power of influence. To the young men who listen to my music, please know that using a substance to rob a woman of her right to make a choice is not only a crime, it's wrong, and I do not encourage it. Have you ever Googled your name and seen yourself on one of those strange sites that has too much information about you? Feels pretty weird. I'd really rather have that stuff not available to just anyone who's looking for it. Data brokers are making tons of money selling your information to robocallers and spammers. Now, rappers have been spitting extremely controversial lyrics for decades. In a 2001 song called Fight Music by D12, rapper Bazaar said, "I hate you, I'll take your drawers down and ape you," while Dr. Dre videotapes you, which is extremely blatant and descriptive. Eminem has a laundry list of descriptive admissions of crimes. I mean, at this point, what rapper hasn't glorified or admitted to some heinous crime? Many people argue that none of these lyrics can be taken seriously because they are made up to represent a character or persona.
There is two things now. Who cannot take them seriously? You mean the rappers? Or you mean the person that's listening to it? Because if you have a lot of youngins listening to your music and this is what you're always saying, do you think they will know that you're joking or that you're not being serious? I mean, sir. Some kids will grow up thinking this is okay, and it's not. It's absolutely not.
That doesn't represent the reality of the rapper.
He raps about drug selling, drug trafficking, being a boss, violence. That's what his brand is about. That's what he raps about.
Rick Ross is quite literally a stolen name from a real 1980s drug kingpin, Ricky Donald Ross, aka Freeway Rick. The rapper Rick Ross's entire persona is fake, but based on a real criminal. Many people use the argument that if music lyrics should be taken seriously, then why is there no outrage when rappers rap about robbing, shooting, and murdering people? But there is a very specific reason why this particular line from Rick Ross garnered so much backlash, and that's due to a shifting cultural perception on these types of crimes after 2 Ohio teens raped a girl and basically got off with a slap on the wrist. On March 17, 2013, just 1 week before Ross's lyric blew up, 2 teens in Steubenville, Ohio were found guilty of rape. But the way these teens had absolutely zero empathy or regard for the victim was a shocking wake-up call for the realities of these horrible crimes. The 2 teens were promising football players who were beloved by the small Ohio town. At a party, a 16-year-old girl drank more than she could handle, leading to her blacking out multiple times, only waking up to vomit. The defendants eventually brought her into the back of a Volkswagen. where Trent May, quote, proceeded to flash the girl's breasts and penetrate her with his fingers, while another football player
What?
videotaped it on his phone. Malik Richmond, the other defendant, took his turn violating the girl with his fingers. Although there was no penile penetration, any sexual conduct where the person is unable to give consent in the state of Ohio does constitute as rape.
That's messed up.
Then, compromising and explicit photos of the girl were shared on the internet, and some of the witnesses mocked her even more on Twitter. The police were notified about the crime a couple days later. They were given a flash drive of evidence, including the post shared on social media, but the police said the case was challenging, partly because too much time had passed since the suspected rape. All of the local press about the situation appeared to be biased towards the boys, discussing their football dreams and how important football is to the community.
Lots of kids in town grow up hoping, wishing one day they could play for Big Red football. Were you one of those kids?
Yes, I was.
And then there's Trent. His father, Brian, a football coach, says there's football in his son's DNA.
One of his dreams since he was a kid was to play quarterback for Steubenville.
As one of Steubenville's football coaches told the New York Times, quote, the rape was just an excuse, I think. What else are you going to tell your parents when you come home drunk like that after a night like that? She had to make up something. Now people are trying to blow up our football program because of it. Just like the Rick Ross outrage slowly grew bigger, this story took on a life of its own as larger publications started to write about it. The anonymous hacker group leaked personal information of 50,000 Ohio residents that they believed were helping obstruct the investigation. They also leaked a video that was taking place that night, when a small group of friends, including the defendants, videotaped themselves bragging and laughing about the crime.
She's dead because there was a naked picture on her, laying in the butt, and she wasn't moving. There's your
Nah, that's messed up. And the fact that these elder people are out here, the one that's supposed to teach them things, are out here defending them, says a lot. It says a lot. Nah.
reaction, Dad.
Boys proceeded to laugh and make fun of the girl on camera for 12 minutes straight. This video went extremely
Nah.
viral, with people all around the world demanding justice for the victim. Many people referred back to the abhorrent mentality of these boys when criticizing Rick Ross's lyrics, whereas others felt like blaming a rapper's lyrics was merely a cop-out, and outraged people should be pointing fingers at parents. Then Anonymous organized the hashtag Occupy Steubenville protest, which got over 1,000 people to protest this case. Finally, because of the outrage, the case went to trial, and the boys were found guilty. Trent Mays, who's 17, was sentenced to serve at least 2 years in the state juvenile system. The other, Malik Richmond, 16, was sentenced to serve at least 1 year. Although it took thousands of outraged people on the internet to escalate this issue for them to receive justice, many
That's
believe that
crazy.
the punishment for these teens was not enough, perpetuating the reality that these types of crimes are not taken as seriously as they should be. And then 1 week after this guilty verdict that people are outraged about, Rick Ross has an extremely popular song that people see as glorifying this same horrible crime. It was a recipe for disaster. Yet despite all the backlash, this didn't even have any long-lasting impact on Rick Ross's career, or even the song. UOENO debuted at number 99 on the Billboard Hot 100 3 weeks after Ross was dropped by Reebok, and by July 20th, it peaked at number 20 on the Hot 100. They even released a visual to the song a few months later that depicts a woman drinking a spiked drink and begins spiraling before Rick Ross takes her home. And even though Reebok dropped
Nah.
him, he has still managed to secure tons of multi-million-dollar business deals that he reaps the benefits of still to this day. Have you seen this guy's house? He is doing just fine. At the end of the day, Rick Ross does have deniability that what he said was fiction, as it was just a part of a song. Cardi B, on the other hand, does not have that deniability, because she admitted to drugging multiple people on an Instagram Live. However, the reason she did it is what caused many to shower her with support rather than outrage. On an Instagram Live in 2017, rapper Cardi B was discussing the struggles that she went through to survive in the streets of New York City.
Niggas must have forgot, my nigga, the shit that I did to survive. Like, I had to go strip. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drum niggas up and I rob them. That's what I used to do.
Just like Rick Ross, Cardi
That's
B
crazy.
admits to drugging people. but specific men and robbing them. For more context, Cardi B was a stripper before she was a rapper, and in this instance she was describing situations where men would try to solicit sex from her in strip clubs, to which she would say yes. Then she would drug them and rob them. But this Instagram Live didn't go viral until 2 years after it was recorded. In March of 2019, it resurfaced via Twitter and sparked outrage online. Hashtag Surviving Cardi B began trending worldwide on Twitter, which was a reference to the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries that detailed all of the horrific sex crimes committed by the R&B singer. Cardi B quickly tweeted, "I never claimed to be an angel. I always been a street bitch. Y'all be glorifying this street rappers that talk and do the grimy shit, but then they can't stand a street bitch." Then she continued to gloat about how people are trying to cancel her. "I'm that bitch they love to hate. I'm that bitch they hate to love. When they try to cancel me on Twitter and Instagram." Critics felt like she was taunting them, which just added fuel to the fire. Redditors unleashed a firestorm of criticism, including this post on the subreddit Black People Twitter, calling the rapper Cardi B Cosby. The post read, "She better get the Bill Cosby treatment or gender equality doesn't exist. This so stupid she called this hard work." As many of you know, Bill Cosby was a...
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Either way, it's not okay. It's not okay that he say it, and it's not okay that she said she did it either. Like, none of them is cool. None of it is cool.
accused by 60 women of rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment. And less than a year before Cardi B's post went viral, he was not only rightfully vilified for his disgusting actions, but found guilty and jailed for his crimes. Cardi felt like her words were being twisted and lacked context, so she posted a lengthy response on social media explaining her point of view. There are rappers that glorify murder, violence, drugs, and robbing, crimes they feel they had to do to survive. I never glorified the things I brought up in that live. I never even put those things in my music because I'm not proud of it, and feel a responsibility not to glorify it. I made the choices that I did at the time because I had very limited options. I was blessed to have been able to rise from that, but so many women have not. The men that I spoke about in my live were men that I dated and was involved with, men that were conscious, willing, and aware. After the rapper's response, major media outlets began to clarify and highlight the quotes where she said that she was doing what she had to do to survive. There were no protests, no demanding of a deeper apology, no attacking her sponsors. For Cardi's fans and business partners, they weren't surprised to hear this information since she never hit...
Off topic, this video was crazy. This video was crazy. Her throwing that mic? Nah. But I heard that she was the one that told people to throw stuff, to throw water or whatever at her. But she did too much and she got mad or something. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's crazy.
Who she was from the people.
I'm a rapper. That came from the streets. That came to the industry. I wasn't a Disney Channel star. I wasn't a nun. I wasn't a saint. I never was a saint. Okay? Let me tell you something. I'm a good-hearted person, but I have done fucked up shit.
For many women and fans of the rapper, they understood her struggle and were ready to move on. Even Rick Ross told people to leave Cardi alone.
Like I say, leave Cardi B alone. Because we don't need to persecute her for her past. We need to be leaders, lead by example. And regardless of what you did in the past, if you stole a car in the past, that don't mean you shouldn't be able to get money in the future. As long as you change your ways, and we all know Cardi B focused on the money now, and she is a leader.
But it seemed like mostly men who were not fans of Cardi B to begin with were outraged at the lack of further outrage. Change my view. If Cardi B was a man, we would be boycotting her music and her career would be destroyed. To which people countered that most other male rappers have had extremely public controversies that didn't destroy their careers. Chris Brown's long history of assault has not hindered his career. Dr. Dre has a history of accusations that have not hindered his career. 6ix9ine pleaded guilty to the use of a child in a sexual performance, which was well known even during his popularity. And as we
I didn't know that. Nah.
Detailed before, Rick Ross did lose out on some money, but ultimately it had no long-standing impact on his career. Another post went viral on the subreddit Unpopular Opinion. Cardi B drugging and robbing men makes her a predator. Now, it actually took months for Cardi B to clarify that she didn't have sex with these men, which was a huge reason why Redditors were so angry. She was alone in rooms with men who thought they were going to have sex with her, since she told them that she would. Then she drugs them into unconsciousness, which is enough evidence for some people to assume that she could have also raped them. But Cardi denies this.
Have actually sex when you touch somebody without their consent. I never nobody. Let me tell you something. I never ever wanted none of these niggas.
An online comment read, "No one cares about male victims when it comes to these types of situations. They say, well, that's what his horny ass gets for going to a hotel room with a woman he just met. Let it have been a male rapper who was drugging women, though. Sex crimes against men are more common than people think, but there is an assumption that men don't care or that they can't be sexually assaulted because of gender-based stigmas. And at this time, the Me Too movement and the Believe Women movement was at an all-time high. So many people just automatically believed Cardi when she said that she wasn't sexually assaulting anyone, and rather just hustling them for their money. But the outrage calling for her to be canceled continued throughout the years, until someone found another old video of her where she explains a hypothetical situation where she describes setting up a sexual assault.
I'm gonna take him out. We're gonna get drunk. I'm gonna get him all perked up and everything. We're gonna have a good time. Get him super twisted. Then bring a bitch around. We're gonna have a threesome. And when he wake up, he's gonna be like, what the f? Yeah, because the bitch was a tranny. I'm be like, yup. Yup, we had a threesome with a tranny. Yup.
Listen, I'm be honest. I don't think it's right when Rick Ross did it, and I don't think it's right when she did it. I'm be honest. I mean, you could just say no, you don't want nothing with them. I mean, let's be for real. Like, it could be like, boy, no. Like, I don't want to go to your hotel. I don't want to go to your house. Like, I don't want to. You feel what I'm saying? But you choose to go, drug them, and then steal from them. It's like, And then on top of it, you're gonna talk about that you bring a tranny and all this. They ain't cool. Listen, there was a period that I used to listen to rap, not too much, and I don't be listening to everybody either, because some people they be talking too crazy, and I'll be like, nah, we can't have this. There's these people be talking about it. It ain't cute. So nah, this messed up.
Yeah, but tranny suck your dick. You don't gotta fuck another nigga to get even. There's other ways to get even.
This is a case of, I didn't do it, but if I did do it, this is how I would do it. The descriptiveness of the situation is hard to interpret as just a joke. This was enough evidence for detractors to confirm that she was a predator. So when they saw this tweet in 2023, they felt like she had no right to speak on the matter. This world is full of predators. They prey on the innocent, the ones who are most unknowing, our children. Predators could be our neighbors, our school teachers, even people with money, power, and our churches. Constantly talk with your kids about boundaries and what they shouldn't allow people to do to them. And with the entire internet calling her a hypocrite, she dug a deeper hole as she spoke about the situation yet again.
And now people want to come at me like, oh, you're the wrong messenger. You're the wrong messenger. Then you robbing drug men. And it's like, listen. Y'all not going to keep doing this, because when it comes to weird ass predators and rapists and pedophiles and shit, I'm really like, I don't play that shit. I really don't play that shit. And then y'all be like, you drug and rob them. Did I touch their body? Did I touch their penis? Did I touch their ass? Did I touch them? Did I put my lips on them? No type of touching. Don't confuse. And even if y'all claim, oh, you robbed them, what's robbing and raping is two different type of shit. So don't call me no predator. Don't play with my name like that, because I don't play that.
Cardi stays firm in her stance that she was never sexual with these men, but she does wholeheartedly admit that these men deserve to be robbed. However, there is a third opinion that the vast majority of people hold for Cardi B. Cardi B came in the game during the Vine era, promoting herself as a gang-affiliated stripper. Her off-the-wall persona made her who she is. You can't ask what can she say or do that would get her canceled, because she's been talking and acting crazy from the jump. LOL at bringing up her drugging and robbing men. Yeah, well, she told us from the jump she was a blood. What do you think bloods do? Sell Girl Scout cookies? No, they commit crimes. Most people love to point out the double standards and hypocrisy. They simplify the situation as man do bad thing, get big trouble, and girl do same bad thing, no consequences. But the truth is, there is tons of nuance to consider when assessing any type of crime, social issue, drama, or whatever you want to call this. No two situations are ever the same. The only similarities here are Rick Ross and Cardi B are both rappers who admitted to drugging someone. The context, the intent, the time frame, the clarity of the words, the behavior before and after the admission are...
Honestly, what I gather from this is that, okay, Rick Ross, I feel like he went too far, because you actually slept with the person, knowing that this person was drugged. You still choose to keep going further. Cardi apparently should just steal the money. They are both crimes, yes, but I mean, at least she didn't, or that's what she's claiming. At least, I don't know. She's claiming that she didn't touch this man. If she didn't touch them, all right, that means she always stealing from people and drugging people, which is not cool. The only thing these two people have in common is that they out here putting stuff in people's drink or spicing people's stuff. That's the thing they got in common. But none of it is right, honestly. None of it is, if I need to be honest.
Are all entirely different, but extremely necessary to assess before you make a decision on what you think about these rappers. Now, I'm not saying they should be absolved of criticism, but if you're expecting rappers to be beacons of moral good, you're going to be angry forever.
This is the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!